All right, well, welcome back everybody. As you can see behind me, something got started. So I'm gonna interject this video with a gardening video. And what I'm talking about is, I started on the fence, but one thing I have never wanted this channel to be is me just showing nothing but successes. I had a little bit of a failure there. And when you put your failures out on the internet, sometimes you're opening yourself up to ridicule and backlash. But it is what it is. I was talking with one of the subscribers the other day in the comment section, and I told him that one of the best ways to learn is learning from other people who's had the experiences or by failures. And I had one here. So we're gonna stop the fence build for a couple of days, because what I found out is these 6x6 posts, even though I've got them deep in the ground, they're just not strong enough to put a little bit of tension on that wire. So my corners are pulling in. So what I was trying to avoid doing was purchasing more lumber, because this garden build's starting to get a little pricey. I was trying to reuse a bunch of materials, but it looks like I'm gonna have to do H bracing on my corner posts. So I'll be going back purchasing some more 4x4s in a couple of days, some high tensile wire, and we're gonna do some bracing there. Then I'll get back to stretching that fence. So being that I'm working the next few days, that's not a big project that I want to tackle right now. So in a couple of days when I'm off, we'll jump right back on that. But I've got enough videos edited here, or footage, that they should flow nicely. So today it's just going to be a simple gardening video. We had another storm come through last night. We've been getting a lot of wind and rain. Corn is kind of showing signs of wanting to blow over again. So we're going to hill up the corn today, thin out some okra, and I'm just going to kind of give you a little garden tour. It's still really wet, things are dripping, the rain hasn't been going long, but I may pull out that propane burner and finish weeding in between these garden beds here, because that's something I've been needing to do. Thanks for watching. Alright, so the corn survived last night's storm decent, but I can tell it's all leaning this way. And before it gets much bigger, it's growing like a weed. I mean, these stalks are gigantic. I've never seen corn grow quite this fast. And I attribute that to the awesome compost that it's in. But I'm gonna take this old school garden hoe here. I love these old thin blade ones. They're hard to find nowadays. And I'm just going to hill up my corn, which should encourage new root growth and put more soil around the stalk of the corn there to help support it in all these windstorms I've been getting. So I'm gonna go through and gently do that. I don't want to wait any longer. These are getting big, roots are coming out. I definitely do not want to damage any roots. Alright, I got my corn nice and healed up, and I'll admit I waited a bit long to do that. It was just such a tight squeeze in there with the hoe, and I was getting pretty close to some roots, and just kind of hard to fit it without wanting to break some of it. So I'll keep that in mind for next year. I'm just not used to planting in a raised bed and this tight. I'm so used to traditional in the ground gardens where rows are spaced 2 to 3 feet apart, etc. So just have to work on this a little sooner. One thing I am happy to report is, as with most of the beds out here, and one reason I love raised bed gardening, hardly no grass, no weeds, and the hoeing just took care of that, other than maybe 2 little pieces of grass. So maintenance sure seems to be a lot less on raised beds. I love that. And again, I just can't get over how dark and green everything is. I haven't fertilized nothing, and I don't see a need to with as rich as this compost is, but it's hard to keep corn green. It wants to yellow up, it loves nitrogen, so this gives you a good idea how good this compost is. Alright, next, if you've been following the channel, you know that I planted my okra to begin with a bit too deep. A lot of it didn't make it. I did another replanting, and looks like everything just came up, so that lets me know for sure I just did too deep the first time. So I'm going to thin these out real quick, and then we're going to move on to the next bed. All right, this is one of those extra garden beds that I built, and I just threw some extra corn and beans in it. Beans are still slowly coming up. I've been struggling with those. Corn did good. Some of it's blown over, so I may go ahead and heal some up by hand, and I need to thin some of it out too. It's time to do that. All right, and lastly over here, these few cantaloupes, it's time to thin them out too. I had to do a little second planting here, and everything has come up great since I did that. All right, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, I'll admit my failures, and trust me, it's tough for me to do that because I like for things to be done right the first time, but it's my fault. I tried to cut a corner here and not do H-bracing, and I got what I asked for. So I'm sharing it with you. The reason we're not finishing up the fencing video now is, look at how crooked that post is. Just as soon as I put tension on that wire, it pulled this post over. That post is also pulled that in that corner and this one. So I'm gonna have to disconnect the fence from those posts, drill down and put some 4x4 H-bracing in. Actually, I'm gonna take these T-posts up here, put a 4x4 down, one over there, H-brace it, high tensile wire, and really reinforce these posts. The holes were drilled so big, and even though I tried to tamper and pack them down great, it would probably take a lot of rains to really pack that ground down good and really lock these posts in. So before I get much more rain, now's the time to get them pushed back, leveled, and braced. So we'll be doing that in the upcoming video. What on earth? Just noticed that big old track. We've had a visitor last night. I guess that's a big old dog. Can't quite tell. Yeah. Don't need him in my garden. Makes me want to fence up even more now. All right, I'm gonna give y'all a quick garden tour, and I apologize. A lot of this is shaded out from the camper here, but I'll try to zoom in. I know these videos, garden videos, aren't as popular on this channel as, say, the tractor or chainsaw videos, but a lot of y'all do ask and talk about this, so I know there is some interest. So we'll get through this quickly, and then we'll go get that propane burner out. But as you can see, I've got bell peppers everywhere. Every single plant is loaded with at least one or two, and they'll constantly produce. Zucchinis still doing good. They were blown over really bad in the windstorm yesterday, but I'm happy to see the little bit of sun they got stood them right back up. I'm starting to see little zucchinis everywhere, and actually they are growing like a weed. Check that out. This one over here, look at there. So that one, for example, we'll be eating that in 2 to 3 days. So it's finally time to enjoy some of these vegetables. I'm looking forward to some grilled zucchini. You can also fry it. We love to saute it. Not much to say about the fruit trees. Hey, the lemons and limes are put on, that's great. Blueberries are putting on like crazy back here, even though they're in pots. So I'm excited to get some of those in the ground. And actually, Tiffany had a good suggestion, and I probably need to remember to jump on it before I put the fence up. Might as well put the big earth auger back on the tractor, come out here and drill all my holes for the blueberries. So I'll make my mind up if I'm gonna do that with post hole diggers manually, or come out here and drill the holes. So a real quick garden tour now that we've just thinned everything out. Okra, some beans are popping up, some have already been up. So I'm starting to see more and more beans now. So hopefully they'll continue to come up. few cantaloupes over here. Eventually those will be bushed out everywhere. This squash and zucchini is just amazing. I mean, it's huge. These plants are already just as big as the other ones, and they haven't even started to flower or bloom yet. So they're just putting on rapid growth. Yeah, this is crazy. I love how dark green they are. They're doing fantastic in this compost. Every day I come out here and the potatoes are just blowing up. I still have a few that are breaking the surface here. So we'll get more of those coming up here before long. Got more beans starting to come out here. You know, I replanted this twice. Got a few cantaloupes in. Never tried cantaloupes on a trellis. We'll see how that works. Okra is looking fantastic now. Just weeded that out. Looks like I'm gonna have a good stand there. Peppers hit or miss. Again, lost a lot in the tornado. These peppers are doing good. Then you know my favorite, this corn. Ooh, this corn looks good. If it can survive all these windstorms, oh, I'm excited to get some of that. It is absolutely loving this compost. All right, let's hook up to the old propane weed burner. Well, if you're new to the channel, this may seem odd to you. I try not to use herbicides around any vegetables or foods. It's just too controversial for me. I will use it on the property, but just not on anything that I eat. So I use a propane powered weed burner. And you can see behind me, a lot of stuff's died off. That in the back that's completely dead, I've quickly swept over twice. This right here, I've did one time. So it looks like I'm starting to find out that 2 quick sweepings with this, just as soon as you see the grass start to wilt, move on. It'll die off, and it's perfect for edging, spot weeding. This is my first time ever clearing a big area with it. Behind me, the ground is nice and charged, so this now makes my second pass. What I did over there is now 2 passes, almost completely dead. So it's looking like with this propane weed burner, 2 passes will get me where I want. There may be still some things that'll come and green up. I'll make a quick 3rd pass over. My experience in the past, I've never done full big areas like this with a propane weed burner. I've owned one for years to do edging and spot weeding. Normally 2 passes, you're good to go. And then of course, several weeks, months later, some grass will come back. Same way with herbicides. And the reason I wanted to kill all this off with a propane weed burner is I'm just not comfortable right now, you know, with all the things you see in the news, doing a herbicide around a vegetable. So that's why I want to try to take the extra time to use the weed burner. And I can tell you what, I've done one over this whole area twice with a 30-pound cylinder, still have plenty of gas left. So it's been a pretty awesome experience, especially see how quick the results are. I can literally come out here tomorrow, 24 hours later, and this entire area will look completely dead. Way quicker results than you get with an herbicide. So I'll keep you updated on that. And by the way, I guess I'll go ahead and plug this in. If you're interested in any of the products you see on the channel, like that weed burner, I have an Amazon link below. And I'll go ahead and let you know, I've labeled it as an affiliate link. That's what it is. I make literally a few cents, maybe $1 on some big purchases, and it doesn't cost you a dime extra. So I appreciate Amazon doing that, and I appreciate those of you that went and clicked on those links to help support the channel. It's not much money, but it helps me buy camera equipment, laptop, editing software, things like that. So as the channel continues to grow, I'll reinvest a lot of the income that comes in to get better equipment to record with. So not getting rich, just go ahead and letting you know there. But I thank you so much for the support, and thank you for getting us to 1,000 subscribers. Now you've noticed some little ads popping up here and there. I appreciate you tolerating those. Again, it's just little small things that help support the channel so I can keep doing what I'm doing and providing better content. So I'll keep you updated on all this. Thanks for coming along. Appreciate you watching.